guys, I am finally getting to have a moonboard session. I'm gonna drive over there. Me and Corey are gonna climb. I'd like to do a not to full exhaustion moonboard session and then do some weighted hangs afterward. That'd be ideal. But I don't know how it's gonna go. Getting climbing, you get carried away sometimes. So, yep, I'm gonna drive over there and get climbing. Alright, this is the part where I climb in the background while I talk over it. You see the intro? I thought the intro was pretty cool. I was like, I think I want to make something a little more YouTube-esque for the beginning. But moonboard session was good. I talk about it pretty well, actually, I think, in the car ride home. So I'll probably leave most of it for that. But it was almost exactly a month since the last time I moonboarded. It was December 18th, and this was January 19th. This was yesterday. So I want to start moonboarding a bit more often, maybe like once every 2 weeks. It's just hard. I don't go to that gym super often, but it is just, I love moonboarding. And this climb right here, I did want to mention that I messed it up stupidly. The move up to the little diamond pinch, the E16, I hit my knee on E10, I think. Yeah, it was E10. And it fully just stopped my rotation, and it made me fall off. So I wanted to flash that, but I didn't. Speaking of flashing, this was a pretty good session. I had 10 flashes out of 15 sends. They were the easiest V6s, most repeated benchmarks. So there's that. It was the easy end of V6, which is easier than all the V5s I have left. So it's not like a super big accomplishment, but it was a good session. I felt good, especially not climbing on the moonboard for a month. It felt good to come back to that. Made sure to save energy for the hangboarding session afterward, because I want to start doing that more especially when I have such a good climbing day like that. Don't fully kill myself on the board. Get some finger training in as well. I'm just happy to be feeling good again. After Saturday, my skin was so bad that I haven't felt like I could climb until yesterday. My skin wasn't even 100%, but it felt good enough to climb the entire session and then hangboard after. But I don't know what it was. It was probably because the session, when I had that private gym session, my skin was already bad. And it was so cold in there that I didn't feel my skin being bad, which is awesome because I always typically do feel my skin very quickly, and that's my biggest issue. But there I was like, oh, my skin is feeling really good, even though it was already kind of shredded. And then so after that, it got shredded under my nose, and so for 4 days it was so pink. My fingers were just raw, and climbing just was I was like, it's just gonna make it worse. I need to let it get back. So doing moonboard yesterday, if I would have kiltered, I would have been over. But doing moonboard was good enough to where, especially if I didn't just keep going till I couldn't anymore, that I would still save my skin. So I can start going every few days now instead of having to wait 4 days, which sucks. But yeah, so that's why I'm getting 2 videos out back to back, and that last video took me too long to edit. And I feel like I jump around a lot in these little voiceovers because I'll talk for a bit. I'll do a string of thought, and then I'll just stop it and be like, okay, what else am I going to talk about? Because I feel like I can't fill this 6 minutes of climbing with just one solid talking without just pausing for 30 seconds. So I'll end it and then be like, oh yeah, I wanted to talk about this, and then I'll just go into it and I'll be like, oh well, that just ended and then started talking about this. There's no transition between it. But that was my transition into this is what that was. I think Moonboard is probably my favorite training board by far, or Moonboard 2016. I've only ever climbed on this, really. I've tried a 2019 before, and I did not like it, but it was like I was having a bad day that day. It was one of the first competitions I did when I was feeling really good, and it was just such a bad time. It was an awful day. So then I just started climbing on the Moonboard 2019 they had, and it was just so different than 2016, and I wasn't doing great on it. So I wasn't a huge fan, but it was probably the circumstances is why. But out of kilter and Moonboard, which are the two I climb on the most, Moonboard is my favorite. Mainly because of benchmarks and stuff like that. But if I had a tension to climb on more often, maybe I would like tension more. But yeah, no, Moonboard is just, 2016 is just such a sick board. But this is the last send, the 15th and final. So it's going on to hangboarding now, and I don't think I'm going to voice over that I talked enough during it.
Ripped a hole in the shirt. That's so upsetting. That's awful. Let's try another 45. I might try this on a bigger ledge first. I could feel that in my lats a lot. It was more the pulling than the holding, I felt like. I don't know. Maybe I should try pull up with that. See how I feel right now. All right, we're gonna try pull up. Pull up was fine. I'm still upset about this. All right, I took the shirt off because I don't want to rip it again. I'm upset. I'll never do this with my shirt on again. But yeah, I'm gonna do like 2 more with this weight. We are bumping down to 45 and 25. 70 instead of 90. Oh. Tweak my finger. Oh no, that hurts now. Ooh, that's okay. Unfolded from crimp to 3-finger drag, just this finger, and it really hurt. That sucks. I'm just going to end with one long hang. Not super long, I guess, probably like 30 seconds, but after that, I don't want to do more. Yeah, that's enough. I definitely worked it. God, that's just so much willpower there to hold on for as long as I can. That's so hard. Yeah, well, I kind of hurt my finger, so I want to be done. So, yeah. All right, I just got in the car. I'm definitely going to do this later when I get home, talk about the session, because my phone's on 8%. I felt good. The hangboarding was nice. Climbing was good. I felt good coming back to Moonboard, but I'll talk about it later.
All right, I'm on my way home from my girlfriend's house, and I got my phone charged, so we're chilling now. I can talk about the session. So I sent 15 V6s. I decided to skip the V5s I've left. I'll have to go back and get them. I don't know when I will want to do that. I probably could have got some of them tonight. I have 31 V5s left out of the 125 or 6 there are, and they are just so annoyingly hard. I mean, it is. I will be very happy when I do send them, but some of them feel impossible. Some of them feel possible, and then there's probably some that I could still get right away. But I was like, I want to have a fun session. I haven't moonboarded in a long time. I'm gonna just go to 6s and go down the list. So, I started with crossover and just went down and flashed technically 11, or technically I didn't flash. I technically flashed 10 because crossover, the first V6, I know I've tried in the past. I just don't know when or how, like ever, how many times I've done it. So I just put 2 tries, but I flashed it. And then I did drop 3 more, something like that. I don't know. Basically, I had 10 flashes in the app. So that felt good. The 6s went pretty well. Cool movement. And then I did some hangboarding. But let me see if I can think of specific climbs from tonight. There was Pogo was a crazy catch. Pogo, that was one of those that I had tried in the past. So that was the 5th one that I didn't flash. Because I definitely didn't flash that one. I've tried it. It was the first 6 I ever tried in one of my very first moonboarding sessions. And somebody was like, you should try Pogo. And I tried it. I could barely. Maybe I stuck the second move. You go to the jug and then you go out. Maybe I stuck that move once. But a few months ago, like 6 months ago, I hit the move. I got to the very last move of Pogo and then just couldn't do the finish. And I think I was going right hand, and right hand is just such a far span. So holding that is crazy. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go left hand. When I got up there, I was like, left hand makes the most sense, I think. So I threw left hand up and it stuck. My pinky fell off, which was scary when I was up there, and I grunted. I probably could have done it without grunting, but the grunt probably gave me a bit of power. But yeah, Pogo, that was a cool one to get. And I don't know if there was anything else there was one where my knee blocked it, but I'll probably talk about that if I voice it over. And then the hangboarding session. The hangboarding, I don't know if I said it because I haven't watched back any of the footage, but in my head, I was doing 80 pounds the entire time, which maybe it helped me. Just mentally to be holding that much weight, because it was 245s. That's 90 pounds. I don't know why in my head I just was like, these are 40 pounds, and I was like, these are 80 pounds together. But I didn't realize, I think I did say that out loud, when I moved it down to a 45 and a 25, I was like, this is 70. This isn't 10 pounds left. Oh, I had 90 pounds. So I did 2 pull-ups with 90 pounds, which is like pretty good, because it is like pushing it that I got I've done 100-pound 1 rep pull-up before, and it was pushing the bounds of what is considered a pull-up. And it was like chin over the bar, but I barely got that rep. So hitting that twice was pretty good. I did not, at that time, I genuinely thought I was lifting 80 pounds. So I was like, I should have this. So maybe I'm just stronger at this point. And yeah, but the hangboarding was good up until I lowered the weight, and I had everything crimped. I think I like tried to kind of show it in the clip, but I had everything crimped. My crimps aren't real crimps. It's like my middle and my ring like actually crimp. They go into a position like that, and then my index is like this, where it's like, maybe if I go to the other hand where my index is on the right side, those crimp, and then my index finger stays dragged. And I think it has something to do with the length of my index finger compared to my middle finger is a lot long, but I'm sure a lot of people are too, is a lot longer than my ring, or my other way around. Index is a lot shorter than my ring and my middle. So I think it's like the best way for it to reach is drag. And I feel like that's why my 3-finger drag is like pretty good. I catch most things in 3-finger drag and stick it. But I was on the ledge with the 70 pounds, and it was slowly just opening, and these were staying, but it was the index finger was opening up, and when it finally got to the fully open position, it just hurt. Like this joint, probably A1 is what that is. It's not A2. I don't think this is middle is A2, so that's probably A1. Anyway, this joint in my digit, in between the middle and the tip, it just instantly hurt. So I was like, oh, okay. And I like kind of waited it again to see if it was like actually tweaked, if it was just a little thing. It definitely tweaked it a bit, and I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. And then I took the weight off and pulled, and I was like, okay, I feel fine without the weight, so it's okay. And then I did the one long hang after that, which I did watch that back. It was almost exactly 40 seconds, which was kind of good. I didn't time it or anything. It was just like a willpower thing of how much, god dang, it's dark, how much more can I do? And at like 20 seconds, I was already dying, but I pushed to 40. But yeah, so I smartly cut the hangboarding there. Felt good to do 90 pounds though for a few times, at least twice, maybe 3 times. The third, if there was a third, whatever the last one was, I didn't do for long. Even the 70 pounds, I was like unfolding, and I think it was about a 16 millimeter edge, because I normally hang from a 14, and that was the very bottom on that, and I was hanging from a more middle one where it's like a few different choices right there, and it was the most shallow. It felt slightly bigger than 14 millimeter, so I'm guessing like 16. But yeah, no, I was able to hold it for a bit, so that's a win, I guess. But yeah, there's no like solid 20 mil edges, which I don't think 20 mil is the best for training anyway. But with me knowing I can do 115 with one arm on 20 mil, I wanted to see if I could do a lot on 20 mil with both arms. But I didn't get the chance because there's like no 20 mils or things that I know are 20 mils. There is an 18 mil that is marked. It's one of those blue boards that is like at an angle like this, and there's just tons of different levels that are like 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, and it just goes down to, I think at 8 it starts counting down 7, 6, and I think 6 is the bottom. But yeah, no, it just has a bunch of rungs that are 18 through 6 millimeters, and I could do 18 on that probably, or just 16 on it and know how much I'm doing. But I felt good about that. The finger is okay. The finger is good. I'll hop on my hangboard when I get home too, just to feel it. But I know it's good. It was just you need to stop now while you're ahead. But moonboarding was sick. Hopefully I'll get back there, not in 3 months. I need to check the logs and see when the last session was. But good session. First 15 B6s are done. And then it'll only get harder from there. I'll probably go back to the 5. I'll probably just keep doing 6s until they get very hard, and then go back to the 5s. Because then in comparison, they're not as hard as the hard 6s. But I'm in my neighborhood. I talked enough about all that. I have nothing else to say about this session. It felt good. That's it. So I'll cut it here. Cut it nice, sweet, and short. Not really super short, but to the point. Not rambling. Kind of am now. But so good night, everybody. It's nighttime for me, and I'll see y'all next time. Thank you.